what a mess. Cole came to us with a group of refugees from some nearby villages. They were looking for shelter from, well, everything that's been happening here. Bandits, the weirdness, the Del Reader, hunger. I was happy Fergus let them in and allowed them to stay. You'll meet them in the village. They live in the buildings up high. Not long ago, though, Cole started acting very strange, erratic, sometimes even aggressive. One of our keepers, old Mahon, tried to calm him down. He might have used too much force, and Cole felt compelled to defend himself. He bit old Mahon. And since then, the old fool has been lying in the infirmary. Frankly, I think Mahon brought it on himself. They shouldn't have put that poor man in a cage. Wait, if you ever meet Patrice, please give her those flowers. I know it's not much, but I'd like her to know she's not alone. I support her and the other refugees. And I'm sure there are more of us who do.
Master favours me. Open this and release me. I'm Nest of the Ulfra clan, and that's my real name. I'm nothing like that nameless fool Bromar. I'll admit, getting caught was my mistake, but his men had the numbers. Bromar might be an oaf, but I can't deny he's got some talent for banditry. That woman thinks only about business, doesn't she? Can't say I blame her. In times like these, everyone has to look after their own skin. They took everything I had, but I managed to hide Orla's package before they caught me. You can dig it up and take it to her. She'll pay you, and we'll be even. Consider it my thanks for freeing me. Finally, someone with some sense in this den of idiots. Thanks. I'll heal up and head back to my people. You didn't happen to kill that big oaf hanging around outside, did ya? Bromar no face. Suits him, with that ugly mug of his. Well, honor demands I kill the bastard, but I'll tend to my wounds first. Thanks for freeing me. You're all right, for a non-reactor.
You're back. Did you bring my goods? That's the best news I've heard all week. Come on then, give it to me. Now that I think about it, since you managed to bring that package and Ness decided to ditch me, you might as well help with the next part of the job. My client, you know who, wants the package delivered to a specific place. Once you're there, you'll use these very special arrows I'm about to give you, and shoot the package from a safe distance. Regular arrows won't do the trick, and if you waste them before the job's done, I'll charge you for the next batch. These aren't gifts, they're tools. Oh, come on. What do you think happens when you shoot flaming arrows at a mysterious package? Think for a second. Anyway, whatever opens up in front of you, check it out, and then tell me all about it. If I were you, I wouldn't touch anything. But if something catches your eye, well, maybe nobody will notice. Just make sure to open the passage. Am I some kind of seer? I have no idea. The captain's my client, not my friend. But if the rumors about him cozying up to the Dalriada tribes are true, you might stumble upon something related to them. Maybe some long-lost artifacts. I haven't got a clue. Personally, I think the captain's just trying to suck up to them. That would be very much like him.
Yes? Who are you? Did Albert Albertus send you? I've told you 1,000 times I'm not leaving. This place is perfect for me. At last, I have the space to explore the limits of culinary delights. You'll never understand, you bunch of cabbage heads. Your taste buds have long been dulled by fried cheese, fried fish, and oil. Oil everywhere, the goddamn oil. Oh, so you're not one of Albert's yes men. I hope you'll forgive this egregious lapse in my manners. I never thought that after the entrance was buried, anyone unfamiliar with my situation would find their way here. But first things first, my name is Rumpold Fenini. I used to be the most renowned chef in Camelot, but now I am an outcast. Doomed to forever search, misunderstood by plebeians with no taste. I've reached the limits of taste. And when I gazed into that abyss, I realized that all my past efforts were doomed to fail. You see, the logical conclusion of creating the most delicious food is something that flips the pleasure of eating on its head and brings it to the other side. Food, so... Because, you see, it's only through pain that we can truly reach pleasure. Now, listen carefully. Sour herring and cheese. Sour herring with cheese. Perhaps, but it's not supposed to sound. It's supposed to be seen. For what is virtue if you don't first know vice? This experience is meant to embody the essence of flavor transgression. Culinary norms and rules, they're nothing but simple amusements for the masses. Limitations meant only to expose the cracks within them. Why don't you try it yourself? Though I must warn you, there's no turning back from this path. Once you've tasted the effects of my culinary transgression, nothing will ever be the same. Here's the recipe for my sour herring with cheese. The ingredients are for you to obtain. It must be your own path. Just remember, it requires a special herring. If I recall correctly, a good fishing spot was... Here, I've marked it on your map. My acolyte of culinary delights. Does he now? Why? I don't offer paid lessons, and I certainly don't run the garrison's kitchen. I can't think of any reason Captain Hubert would send his men here. Sorry? Oh, a change in command then. Interesting. I do hope Captain Hubert is well. He was very kind to me when I stayed at the Keeper's Fortress. Oh dear, I could ask what year it is, but honestly, I don't find it terribly important. I finally found my place and purpose. Time holds no meaning for me. Rules are meant to be broken.
What are you talking about? You found someone alive in there? Wait, Rumbold? The one who disappeared centuries ago? The chef obsessed with herring and cheese? I can't! I don't believe it! All that effort, all that money, and it's Rumbold. Oh my God, I'm crying. But, well, a deal's a deal. Here's your cut. Honestly, I thought it was about the lost treasures of the Dalriada, maybe an army of undead berserkers, something that would end the world. You have no idea how scared I was of this job. And now you're telling me it was undead Rumpolds. All right, I'm feeling better now. Do you need anything else from me?
Oh, not really. Especially since we went into a lockdown a while ago. People used to come and go. Now and then a ship would make a stop at the village below, but nobody's really come around since. Well, since the entire shit show that's going down everywhere. Now that I think of it, you're the first they've let in. What'd you do? Who did you bribe? Oh, so you have friends in Camelot. Good for you. Of course I do. Those pins are peak craftsmanship, and very rare at that. We only gave them out on Camelot's orders. But when I look at you, well, it's pretty obvious you wouldn't be able to beat a knight. And even if you found one already dead, you'd sooner nick his armor than a pin you knew nothing about. Either way, good for you. Yeah, after we lost 2 squads trying to take back the All-Mother's Temple from the Dalrita, our captain decided that nobody leaves the Horns. Then he shut himself in his office, without leaving us any orders. Virgus is trying to keep the lads occupied, but... just look around. Half of the people here are losing their minds, and the rest are losing their wages on drink. Sometimes I wonder, how many things can go wrong at the same time. They say that misery loves company, but here, it's like we've done something to anger the gods, and they're taking their sweet revenge. First, we started hearing that the weirdness was spreading near Grubwood. Soon after that, we saw waves of bandits approaching from there. Desperate people. They took a lot of our territory. Then, the Dalrita tribes took over the All-Mother's Temple. And after that, the supply chains from Camelot collapsed for some reason. And so on and so forth. We're in quite a pickle, my friend. We've started betting on what's going to happen next. Sea monsters? Who knows? That's... I don't know. It's hard to explain. They kept to themselves, perched in the mountains near the Forlorn Swords. Then something happened, and suddenly we saw ships arriving near our eastern shores. Couple days later, the tribes took over. One good thing is that the bandits aren't up to fighting with them. One bad thing, we aren't either. Yes, that damn forest north of here was already cursed and creepy. But now, I've heard it's an entirely different level of crazy. They say that some men here started going dark up north. With that, the weirdness started moving. And when the weirdness gets here, well, we're fucked. But you know that. Every child has heard the stories. Truth be told, most of them are just people desperate to survive. When the villages started dying out because of the weirdness, hunger, or raids, they lost their livelihoods, ended up with nothing to their names, and nowhere to go. So they banded together and started raiding whatever was left. Then they turned to killing each other. They're like rabid wolves. Too bad they're here now, too.
If only. I can't get in touch with Brandon. And it seems that he gave the order to keep me here. Precisely here. Right in this damned spot. And I'm afraid. If I stay here any longer, some of those geezers might actually drop dead. Don't get me wrong, I quite like this place. The air is crisp, the sea is calming. It's true, the company could be better, but I wouldn't mind living here one day. I used to love it when I was younger. It felt like an adventure. Like I was a brave heroine venturing into the dangerous world. But it gets boring after a decade or two. Eventually, you start feeling like you haven't had time to sit down since the moment you... The dangers of the road stop becoming exciting. They become real. And before you know it, your entire life has slipped through your fingers. Life goes by so fast when you're always on the move. You keep thinking you have time for everything. Until you don't. Only a keeper is allowed to own property in the Horns of the South. I looked it up. It's an actual law, not just something Brandon made up so I'd stop breathing down his neck. So unless I grow a pecker overnight, that'll never happen. Keep your head down and your purse tighter.
Welcome to the Museum of the Horns of the South, the southernmost keep under Camelot's jurisdiction. My name is Ridderick, and I will be happy to introduce you to the rich history of this fascinating place. A history that began 623 years ago, with the first keeper, Sewell Firstfoot. I'd also like to bring your attention to our numerous exhibits that are, as I like to say, inanimate witnesses of the history of the Horns of the South. The museum holds a collection of 72 items of the so-called movable, tangible heritage. The collection includes big and small items that represent the world surrounding the keepers of the Horns of the South from the 1st to the 6th century of the Avalonian era. Here you will find militaria, craft tools, everyday objects, furniture, textiles, coins, religious artifacts. I'd say all exhibits are worthy of your attention, but I could point you to the ones I personally think to be the most notable, or subjectively, of course, the most interesting. Those would be the items that used to belong to Sewell Firstfoot. We have his signal horn, and also his boots. Those boots were the first to touch Avalonian soil. What is also worth mentioning is the tableware used by King Arthur himself during his visit to the Horns of the South in the 15th year of the Avalonian era. It is indeed an interesting exhibit. The horn was used by Sewell during wartime, not only for signaling, but also for intimidation. It is 50 centimeters long and made of the horn of an ox. It is the color of yellowed bone, with some ash-gray discoloration on the narrow end. It has a brass mouthpiece and silver fittings on its wider side and at the middle. The shape of the fittings suggests that the horn was hanging on a leather strap, which unfortunately has not survived to this day. It's a memento of the visit of the legendary ruler of Avalon. Impressive, isn't it? The tableware is made of tin coated with silver. It consists of a plate, a bowl, and a chalice. The edges are decorated with the motifs of Camelot, a crown and a bear. However, those ornaments are of visibly low quality. That detail, and the fact that those are the only wares from that time that have survived to this day, leads us to conclude that this set was cast specifically for that occasion, and that it was finished by a person unfamiliar with this kind of craft, perhaps a blacksmith or an armorer. Really? Do you mean it? Thank you. That's really nice to hear. I'm not used to positive feedback. Usually people only come here when they've had too much to drink and decided that it'd be fun to come over and start mocking me, or touching the exhibits with their greasy fingers. The last person who seemed to actually be interested in the museum was Lady Elaine. We talked a bit about Captain Lex and the trip that ended tragically in the year 513. It was described in The Last Voyage of the Andraste. An interesting read, although I'd say it should be classified as fiction. Lady Elaine thought differently. Apparently she's looking for the wreck of the Andraste. Can you believe that? Definitely. Personally, I believe that people gifted with curious minds should share their observations, for there's always a chance it will result in new developments. You should find Lady Elaine in the tavern, or somewhere close to it. Good luck.
Hey. Hello. Are you also wondering why the heck we need them? Lighthouses. Why the hell are Dara and his workers pushing so hard to build the second one? Is one not enough? Is it because one is less than two and less is worse? I mean, two lighthouses next to each other are almost the same as one, and ships don't even sail this way anymore. Two taverns, of course. One to drink in, and the second for when you're already drunk. Ha! Aye, why would they? The waters are treacherous, so no ships. Storms and the weirdness are a deadly combination. Besides, who'd have the time to build or repair them? There are enough problems on the island. We don't need more. Well, not much going on here, as you can see. Things have been a bit different lately, due to the refugees. One was even hanged for theft. But I can't say much more as I wasn't there. If you're interested in the horns, you should visit our museum. You'll learn more about that fella, Swal, or whatever his name is. What do I think? Well, as long as they follow the rules, they can stay. And if they don't, then they can hang. That's all. Folks are saying that there's some other group, probably more dangerous, not so far from here. If they come closer, well, that wouldn't be too good. Aye, it's boring, but at least you don't have to pay to enter. But almost nobody goes there anyway. You can stay here and serve. Sit in the tavern, drink and eat something. If you're looking for an adventure, you'll have to go elsewhere. There's always something happening out in the world. But you know what? Here in the south, everything happens late. It's a big world out there, and a small one right here. Gotta admit though, it does look pretty majestic.
Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. I can't promise that talking to him will be any fun. Come to me afterwards.
If Haber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep trying. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to throw money at us to keep up appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them. Ah, he used to serve too. In fact, he was the builder before me. Now he's just an old fart angry at the world.
But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other, but as long as I can help him, I will. Hence, the medicine.
Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass. And I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? That's right, bringing medicine to my father. When that idiot gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through him. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horns. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail. Well, no, of course not. We're not priestesses of the All-Mother. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be a keeper. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't forget that. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as anything else. Tried picturing myself as a husband, a father once. But nah. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father, like son, I guess. Keep your head down.
That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Haber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead. Yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds... well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But, hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. No, not really, fortunately.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, so, what you want? One day my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit. They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my arse. So there. Peace and quiet. Good one. I'll only have my peace and quiet when I'm finally dead. And that ain't gonna happen soon. At least when I'm with Finley, I don't need to listen to his nagging. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job. Getting a bit too interested, aren't you? Bring a drink over, and I might share. Ah. So, what was your question? Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. Curious, aren't you? Fetch me a drink and we'll see about a chat. Ah. So, what was your question? That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. Getting a bit too interested, aren't you? Bring a drink over, and I might share. Then you can kiss my arse. I ain't spilling my guts to strangers. Drinking buddies, though. If there's something you want to know, you'll need to treat me first. Oh, so many questions. How about a drink first, and then we'll talk? Ah. So, what was your question? You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day, there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. You're digging a little deep, aren't you? Bring me a drink, and I'll consider talking.
Buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla. Then just bugger off. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family. Then made herself at home here. Damn those Timberwall merchants. Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Quanacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. I just told you, a business contract. It's an agreement. Two sides. One sells, the other pays. Sometimes you can also exchange material goods. A barter transaction. But anyway, it fell through. The captain'd rather deal with that woman. Good riddance to him.
Well, it's all water under the bridge now. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the royal geographers, to chart the uncharted. But I broke my leg, badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore. You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the Age of Legends. They travel across Avalon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves, discovering old ruins. That's what LSA and I dreamed of. Though, only one of us got to live it. Well, a friend from back home. It was a long time ago. We were both snot-nosed kids who didn't know any better. We'd run around Connacht, drawing maps of every corner we could find. And on the farms, LSA insisted on marking every stone in the fields. My mother used to get on my ass for wasting so much paper and charcoal. Good times. She got in with the geographers, started running errands for them. Well, it was right after my accident. I might have, acted a bit rashly. Said some things I shouldn't have. You know how it goes. We stopped talking, and then she'd left Connacht. Haven't seen her since. There was someone poking around. Fianola, I think. Said she was heading in the direction of the sunken village, but got a bit confused along the way. I mean, I don't blame her. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called. And they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby. So I asked them what that one was called, and they said, the sunken village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me, the village. How do you even work with that? You just gonna stand there and stare? Or are you gonna buy something? Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less. Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this. I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them, or not. It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many. Yeah, Orla, a woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit and no finesse when it comes to trading.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave lightkeepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell... It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no to me. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid. I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
Come! Back to your hovel, coward! I will be your downfall. I'll strike. No match for our band. Goes there. You made a big mistake. This has to be your money. That's all you've got.
I am obliged to inform you that fighting those who actively break the law and reject the rule of the crown is the duty and pride of every subject. As Camelot's representative, I will be paying a bounty of 10 gold pieces for the death of each bandit roving the area, as long as adequate proof is provided.
I also recommend checking the bounty board for information on wanted criminals, especially those considered particularly dangerous. Please, state your business.
That's correct. My name is Lillian. I was sent here from the capital to see how the Horns of the South are handling the bandit problem, and also to encourage the Keepers to fight. The situation with the Pict and Del Rita savages is precarious. Too bad we can't get rid of them as easily as we did the Druids. There have also been rumors that we might soon have a civil war on our hands, so Camelot cannot afford to spread our forces too thin. There are rumors that the Rita tribes want to unite, and that would mean open war with Camelot. As for those Pict savages, they've been growing bold, leaving their forest. For now, it's just been small scrimmages, but who knows how it would end. I don't really have much more to tell. It's hard to get any updates here. I only know that the new Lancelot has not been very popular, and that's putting it mildly. The Witch Morgaine would have been burnt at the stake long ago if everyone weren't so afraid of her. And then we have the commoners who seem to keep forgetting their place and loudly demanding changes. Everything is falling apart. Well, you've probably heard about the Druids making human sacrifices by stuffing people into wicker puppets and setting them on fire. Well, the people decided to give them a taste of their own medicine. They rounded them all up and then sent them up in smoke. Oh, how they must have howled and sizzled. Too bad I couldn't see it. Yep, made human sacrifices, prayed to the dark gods, brought the weirdness back. Bunch of bastards. Good thing they're worm food now. Most of them, the survivors have supposedly taken refuge with savages in the woods, and one of them is rumored to be hiding in the Horns area. But whether that was before or after the Charred Conclave, I don't know. Would you like to hear about him? His name was Slaudyard. He was lurking near Blood Lake, a small pond where they used to throw the bodies of executed convicts. They say he would fish them out and use his magic to turn them into undead monsters. Supposedly, he started needing some fresher corpses, so he slaughtered one of the keepers. The Horns organized a manhunt. They found him and sentenced him to death. People say that the moment his body touched the surface of Blood Lake, the water turned red and it's been scarred since that day. Some say that Slaudyard came back from the dead and seeks revenge. But if you ask me, it's just a tale by local simpletons.
Really? You fought bandits and killed them? Oh, I want to hear all the details. Here's a reward, but promise you'll tell me everything.
None so far. The keepers don't want to risk being turned into pincushions for a mere 10 gold pieces. Besides, the captain banned them from leaving the Horns of the South without a good reason. Too many bandits and not enough keepers. Well, Camelot would send a group of knights with Sir Galahad at the head, and he's not interested in half measures. He'd probably burn down half the garrison, or hang them. He's done both. By the way, did you know that people who are hanged rarely die from strangulation? Usually the sudden jolt causes the backbone to snap, which separates the head from the body. A while ago I saw someone hanged in the village, and it's true. One snap, and it's done. No matter what you say about him, he's very efficient. Brutal, even by my standards, but efficient. Oh, sure, plenty. Did you know that apparently if you cut off someone's head, they don't die straight away, but remain conscious for a few moments?
Oh, someone finally checked out the notices I was posting on the board. I see that Silent Cilia has finally been shut up for good. She earned that moniker because she liked to silence travelers by slitting their throats. Well, I hope she met the same fate. I wonder what it sounds like when a blade pierces the trachea. Anyway, the reward is yours. You managed to kill Rusty Ardgol? Well, well. A few months back, he supposedly took out a high-ranking red priest. so the big shots of Camelot were eager to see him dead. But it was you who finally pulled it off. And from what I hear, he was a tough bastard, surrounded by a gang of killers. Congratulations, and here's your reward. Sinan the Giant, he used to rob travelers on the road, and if he wasn't satisfied with what they had, he'd crack their heads open. Now his hefty body is lying in pieces in a puddle of blood somewhere. Oh, sorry. No time for daydreaming, right? Here's your money.
Go chop off some heads.
I can't believe you actually did it. A blade buried in that giant body. I can only imagine what a sight that was. Here, take your reward. And please accept Camelot's official gratitude. You've truly done a great service for the capital.
Go, the hunter waits.
Again? You really like killing, don't you? Do you shoot them with arrows from afar, or do you prefer to get right up close and watch the light fade from their eyes? I have so many questions, but for now, here's your reward.
Did they resist? Oh, I hope they did. Go chop off some heads. Go chop off some heads. Oh, hey, before you go, I can see the bloodlust in your eyes, you know. It takes one to know one. So here's some friendly advice, free of charge. If you're seeking scum to slay, you'll find bandits in the ruins of a merchant settlement nearby. It's worth visiting if you haven't already.
You are. Look, darling, it's the lovely mercenary I hired to clear out that seaside estate I told you about.
You did what?
Well, you told me to deal with it, so I did. You didn't expect me to just sit on my hands while surrounded by unwashed fishermen, did you?
Look, I'm sorry about my wife. Whatever she told you to do, forget about it. I'll pay you for your trouble. Trust me, I can imagine. Unfortunately, she often gets lost in her enthusiasm. We weren't, at least I wasn't planning on staying here any longer than necessary. We have no need for an estate.
Well, that's your opinion. One I simply do not share. You have? Oh, that's wonderful. I can start planning the welcoming banquet. I'm thinking sea foam made of spun silver, dancers dressed as alluring sea creatures.
And who are you going to invite, The crabs? None of your friends from Camelot are going to come all this way just to have dinner, are they?
Dear gods, Duncan. You're so plebeian. Of course they will come. Besides, There must be some important people here. Weren't you just talking with them? You can invite them too.
Good luck with that. Are you sure the place is safe now?
Oh my, how polite. I wouldn't have expected that from such a vagabond. Ah, but no matter, for I now have the delightful task of decorating an entire house.
Marvelous.
Truly it is. Now, we must get in touch with that splendid woodworker from Camelot. You know the one. He made those exquisite cabinets for the Gévaudan. Oh, and don't forget to pay the nice mercenary. At least someone in this godforsaken place turned out to be useful.
Yes, dear.
Why don't you come visit us once we're all settled, And don't fret. There's no need to make yourself too presentable. I highly doubt we'll be entertaining any important guests just yet.
Maybe the fish aren't always fresh, but nothing should go to waste. So, some fish?
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure what could have brought you to this hellhole. But you have my sympathies. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, but now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, We realised everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time it only got worse. We set up camp near the arch spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world. What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. Thank you. For them. You are from nowhere, just like me. That's why I believe you. Take those flowers away, burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them. 2 or 3 weeks ago, things were starting to get difficult. The supplies we brought with us were running low. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with. But it also means more mouths to feed and more worries to deal with. It's not easy. Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit. We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears. Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route. My parents ran a tavern that stood right by the road. We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters. Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death. Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I don't think there's anything worth going back for. Oh, the same thing that will happen to every place on this godforsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Cole and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us. Interesting thing about our wealthy guests was never their story. More often than not, they were boring people who loved talking about boring things. They thought gold makes everything more exciting. But what I found interesting were the fabrics that made up the clothes they wore. Their origin and composition. The meticulous work of the weavers who turned a piece of fabric into something precious. I wanted to go to Timberwall, to become an apprentice in one of their guilds. Cole just wanted to get the hell out of there. He never saw a future for himself in Ree. Though I'm not sure he saw one anywhere else either. But he wanted to try. I don't know what I'll do without him. Any hope I had for a better life died with my husband. Well, it wasn't a love match. I never wanted a husband, and Cole never wanted me. But we always got along. And we had a common goal. He was a good man. Trust me. When I said that my hope for a better life died with him, I wasn't just some young widow being dramatic. I really meant it.
We always supported each other. He was my friend first, and my husband second.
Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me and Cole. Some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved. Be careful out there.
Give me warmth. It's cold. It's the ones you will always remember. Come closer. Please. My name, in your language, will be Abhardak. I was imprisoned years ago by a king. Human, but inhuman at the same time. I suffer, I wither, I am defiled. They left me here to endure hunger and pain. I cannot bear this form. It is twisted and befitting of a fall dweller. So you've come here to save the man. So you can't help it now. It's humanity has been devoured. He has been freed from this pointless human existence. My devil changed nothing. It has gone too far. Instead, Let me taste your blood. You too shall be free. Let me taste your blood. I need just a little. Let me bite you. To ease the pain, yours and mine. Go thy fated prophet strike here!
Oh, it's you. Did you hear? The Keeper was cured. Cole wasn't so lucky. He's fallen into a strange state. A while ago, one of Fergus's men came by and told us, "You're bloody lucky Mahon got better." And that's the only reason we're still allowed to stay in the village. I had a feeling something might change with your involvement. I knew you'd find something. I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could thank you. But right now, I just don't have the strength. You tried, and that means a lot. It's hard, and I don't think I can properly show my gratitude. I'm sorry. He just sits there, staring. He doesn't notice anyone. It's almost as if all the life inside him is frozen. Even the part of him that was full of aggression. Most of them wanted Cole dead, but Fergus forbade anyone from interfering. Since Mahon is getting better, he decided that Cole's fate is in our hands. But if anyone else raises a hand against him, they'd be sentenced, as if for murder. That cooled the tempers of the Keepers and lessened the open hostility from the villagers. Besides, you've seen him. He hasn't moved much in the past few hours. I can't abandon him. Even if he's not exactly the Cole I knew, he still looks like him. I won't ask you to end his agony. How could I? I'll take care of him for as long as he lives. And then, I don't know. I'll probably leave this godforsaken place. What? No. Cole is my responsibility. He will live as long as he's meant to. I know you probably had good intentions, but let me take care of Cole's life on my own. They say time heals all wounds. But this one feels like a wound that will always fester. One I can never forget.
Did you make sure that no one from the Queen's entourage was following your trail? Beware her spokespeople. And if you're acting on her behalf, be gone and perish! Depends on who's asking. Do you bring trouble? Or are you in need? Do you hear the buzzing of the bee swarm? Or are you carrying that noise yourself?
No, I can't hear any buzzing from you. Hold on.
You don't know what you're doing here yourself. And you are looking for answers. Or the right questions. Ah, well, same difference. My name is Brock. If you need something to shield yourself from evil, you've come to the right place. Of course. Go ahead. Choose something. The first time I saw her was years ago, when night fell over Brock Miala, and the gatherers had already fallen into a peaceful slumber. Then, the first sign appeared, a harbinger of what was to come. The mist, thicker than ever before. Wilfred was the first to notice it, as he still tended to the beehives. Finally, from the milky shroud suspended between the earth and the sky, an unexpected procession emerged, led by the Queen of Queens. Oh. We were lucky to be wearing our attire. Along with the mist came stinging troubles. The Queen issued a decree, and that meant trouble. That's right. Troubles are like bee stings. Man swells from them, and later on, he doesn't even resemble a human anymore. The most important thing is that both Brock and Brock Miala were protected. Yes, that's the most important thing. It's the attire of many families from Brock Miala. It protected them, just like it protected me. That's right, but I can't give it to you. It shields me from the Queen's gaze. I am invisible to her. I hope you understand. No one wants to be noticed by her. Take care of yourself. The Queen can appear anywhere, at any moment.
It's closed. Find a different one. Not my problem. Now scram before I lose my patience. You want to fight, little one? Finally! I was starting to feel rusty. It's been a while since someone bested me. I guess I really have gotten rusty. Still, a win is a win. You can pass through. Just don't do anything stupid. Fran's berserkers have even less patience than I do.
Still doesn't tell me anything. First, you showed up here like a dimwit. Now you're walking around camp like it's nothing. I look into your eyes and I don't know whether you're made of steel or you're just a fool. But you are here. And Maven didn't chop you to pieces with her axe. The runes seem to favor you, even though you're an outsider. I guess that has to be enough, for now. It's still more than you should expect. If you need something, talk to Vran. She's in charge. The woman. What of it? The Dalriata are not like those in Camelot. We don't make women wear frocks and sit at home. Our women have names. And if they have names, it means they earned them like all other Dalriata. Vran was chosen by One Eye, and One Eye doesn't make mistakes. I don't need to tell you anything. Just wait and see for yourself. When the South is free from Arthur's dogs, as it should be. Go. Bring glory to your ancestors. Tharov will be waiting.
That son of a bitch. I once smacked him in the mouth after he tried to sick his wolves on me. Bloody ghostly shite. Pfft. You also play around with filthy magic like your friend? Yeah, to cowards and wimps. If you use it, you're either one or the other. What are you doing here? then you have a problem. Because the temple now belongs to One Eye, and he told us to sit here on our arses and make sure no one goes inside. So, you're not going inside. But I really hope you'll try. At least I could warm myself up by chopping off your head. Oh, you want an understanding? With me, a warrior from the Ophir tribe? Piss off or I'll shove my axe up your arse.
You handled Mabon well. Was a sight to see. Shame my brother didn't catch it. But since you're here, it's only polite to introduce myself. Welcome to the camp. I'm Sobder of the Sveen tribe. Hunter and cook. Ah, that poor soul over by the rocks doesn't really respond to anyone anymore. His name's Groder. Not long ago, he was a strong warrior. But now, it pains me to even look at him. I asked Therov, our mage, if there's any way to help him. But he insists there's nothing to be done. Nobody really knows. He went out hunting one day. Came back empty-handed and out of his mind. I mean, he walks around, mutters to himself. But it's not like he's really there. Therov claims there isn't. But I think he's hiding something. There's got to be a way. I doubt Groder's the only one who's ever suffered like this. And if anyone would know about curing magic, it's the Hude. I don't know why Therov won't talk. Maybe he doesn't like us. But where are my manners? I shouldn't bother you with my personal problems. Therov can make sparkles. No one else in the camp can do that. I saw Therov's magic once. He used it to kill a man during a raid. Poof! There wasn't much left of him. Just a little bit of barbecued meat. Therov once talked about a whisper in the dark. He said he wanted to follow the voice and kill it. Sounds like it could be a decent fight.
Well, well. I never thought I'd see Mabon flat on her back. Especially no by the hand of an outsider. Now, what business do you have that's so important? So, you're after that snake, huh? I've been telling One Eye he's nothing but trouble. Sure enough, it didn't take long for another outsider to show up at my camp. Sometimes, I hate being right. That man doesn't have a single honest bone in his body. He came here to make deals with us. And who knows? Maybe he'll stick to his word. But I don't trust him. Once a traitor, always a traitor, no matter who he's turning his back on. Still, I've sworn my loyalty to One Eye, and I'll stand by him to the end, whatever that may be. Anyway, he's at the temple. And before you ask, no, you can't get in unless you're ready to face my berserkers. And why would I? This isn't Camelot's land anymore. The temple belongs to the Del Rida now. As for this camp, it's mine. And I don't trust strangers wandering around our territory. They rarely bring anything good with them. I'm not sure yet. First, I need to see if you're really as determined as you claim. I'm not about to share our secrets with somebody that's only half committed. I've got a potion from Therov, made for my warriors. He claims his alchemy is better than what the Volker tribe has known for generations. The thing is, I don't fully trust his brews, so I need somebody else to test this one for me. It's supposed to enhance my warriors' abilities. In the long run, it could be useful, but my berserkers are already few and far between. I can't risk my men just to prove Therov's point. Here, drink up. So, how are you feeling? What the hell? Damn it, Therov. I wasn't expecting this, no gonna lie. I don't know what you're trying to say. Just come sit by the fire with me. It should wear off soon. Feeling better now? Try saying something. Exactly why I've always told Therov he's full of shit. He's chasing the impossible. I knew it wouldn't work, but at least the potion wasn't dangerous. I wasn't expecting you to just go along with it. No Volker would accept a potion like that from an outsider. You're really determined to enter the temple, aren't you? No. I can see you're reckless. But I still don't know if I can trust you. Lucky for you, there's a rather delicate matter that needs handling. Turns out, I need some help for somebody who's no Del Rida. One eye wants to make nice with the keepers, though if you ask me, no level in their precious pile of rocks to the ground is nice enough already. But he says that's no enough. He's looking to make a gesture of goodwill. Show them we're not here to conquer but to forge an alliance against a common enemy. And he's put me in charge of picking out a gift to send to the Horns of the South. Aye, I've got one. I sent some of my men to hunt down bandits and told them to collect an ear from each one they killed. I thought to have Ugwi make them into a necklace, but apparently, stringing ears on a wire is beneath his pride as an Ulfrite smith. Think you could help me put it together and deliver it to the Horns of the South? I know your lot thinks we're savages, but just so you know, it's no a tradition with us either. How else would they know we've been helping? The keepers probably wouldn't notice fewer bandits. They barely leave their walls. If you've got a better idea, I'm all ears. I could have Ugwi forge an axe, but he doesn't see much difference between the Southerners and the Camlosians. No that I blame him. I can't either. I just take One Eye's word that it exists. But I don't trust Ugwi not to somehow make it insulting. As for my people, the Volker stripped themselves of any meaning a long time ago. The only thing we have left is the Berserker potion. But that's too precious to just hand over. What? You want the entire fortress to start quacking now? You know what happens when he's left unchecked. No, no. Thereof's no an option. Besides, don't the folks of Camelot hate the kind of magic he practices? You, of all people, should know I am. It's no his skill, I doubt. It's his commitment. Though maybe I'm wrong. We're all supposed to be united under One Eye's banner, aren't we? Fine. Why don't you talk to Ugwi? Tell him what needs to be done. You know better than I do what gift the Keepers will appreciate most.
Grodair walks in another world. His body is here, but his mind is lost. To Dalriata, madness is the worst fate we can face. Therov prefers not to imagine where Grodair's mind wanders. Therov prefers not to look at the lost brother. Therov pities them both. Therov hails from the Theod tribe, while the brothers are Svein. Therov prefers not to interfere in Svein matters, out of respect for their independence. Aye, there is wisdom in that, Wanderer. And it's true, Therov may have a solution that could help, but no Dalriata would take on this task. All signs suggest that Grodair is slipping into madness, and though we are brave people, every man's madness is different. When you don't know what you're going to fight, you don't know how to fight. And if you don't know how to fight, you can't be sure you'll win. That's why no Dalriata can help Grodair. Sobdair would like to help, but he's a simple soul and doesn't understand the deadly danger he might face. Truly, a wanderer willing to help a stranger from the tribes. That's honorable of you. Therov is willing to share his knowledge. Give this potion to Grodair and hold his hand. It should give you access to his soul. With a bit of luck, you'll find Grodair there himself. And maybe you'll be able to convince him to come back. Either way, Therov offers you his highest respect. What you're attempting is brave indeed. Good luck, Wanderer. May Mayfair's grace guard your mind.
That's a whole other place you don't want to be at. I don't know what's happening to me. It's so strong. Sobder. I hear him calling me. But I can't answer him. Help me, brother. It's all
so hazy, so dark. I was chasing a deer, but it ran too far, and night caught up with me. I didn't have the tools to start a fire, and the weariness came for me. Then just darkness. Darkness and voices. I tried to speak, but I couldn't. I tried to take Sobdar's challenge to free myself, but something wouldn't let me. I felt anger tearing me apart from the inside, and then your face appeared. Thank you.